When it comes to sound design for pads, there's all kinds of different ways you can go about it. I've showed a bunch of techniques on this channel already, from different synths, different techniques, all kinds of different ways. The possibilities are literally endless. But there's one methodology that's really got me excited lately, and that's the idea of creating multiple envelopes to control the levels of all the oscillators inside of just one instance of any synthesizer of your choice. So in today's video, I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to do this so you guys can apply this technique to your own ambient workflow. All right, so if you like this kind of video, make sure you smash that like button on the way in, subscribe to the channel if you guys feel called to do so, and be sure to check out my brand new community on Patreon. I'm offering full track walkthroughs on there, preset packs, a whole Patreon community, one-on-one coaching, and so much more. You can check it out. The link is down below. That being said, let's get into some pad sound design. All right, so here we are inside of Ableton Live 11. Now, the goal of today's video is not just to communicate this idea, but it's more about the methodology. I really want you guys to understand how this methodology works, and then you can apply it to any other synthesizer of your choice. I've got Vital in front of me because it's free and most people have it, but you can really apply this to any other synth that has envelopes, that you can maybe even possibly loop the envelopes. I learned it on the Hydra synth, but then now since then I've applied it to like Dune 3 and Hive 2. There's all kinds of different ways you can go about this, so it's not just limited to the technique that I'm gonna show here on Vital. I just wanna make that clear, okay? So what we're gonna do here, the basic premise is to create multiple envelopes to dynamically move and change the different oscillators at different times, therefore creating this really wide range of sound that you wouldn't be able to find, if you just tied the amp envelope to all three oscillators at the same time. You really have to adjust the timing here. So the first trick to make this work is to adjust the release of envelope 1 to like 5 seconds. And that way, when you do release the keys, it's gonna trail off rather than just sort of sharply stopping. So that's technique number 1. So the second thing you're gonna do is turn on all three oscillators and turn them down to 0, and making sure that they're all the way at 0, 0, all right? So then you're gonna use 3 LFOs and put them in envelope mode and tie those to the level of each of the oscillators, like so. So we're gonna take LFO number 1, we're gonna switch it to envelope, and then we're gonna adjust the timing to like 4/1. I found that's a really good kind of starting point here. And then you can just kind of draw in the basic amp envelope shape, if you will. So this is basically your standard ADSR, right? So I'm gonna take this, and what we're gonna do here is we're gonna adjust the attack timing of all three envelopes that we make inside of these LFOs. So I'm just gonna drag the modulation handle here over to the level. And now when I play key, you're not gonna hear oscillators 2 and 3, but you're gonna hear oscillator 1, and it's sort of like dynamically moving with that new LFO that we created. And then it falls off, and then the release stage kicks in. So as you could hear, it's exactly like what you'd get with the amp envelope, but now we're doing it inside of an LFO. That's step 1. All right, so now let's do that again. So we're gonna take LFO 2, we're gonna switch it to envelope mode, switch the timing to 4/1. I have a pre-made shape in here, just save a little bit of time. And so now we have another one, and the timing is a little bit different here. So I'm gonna change up the timing. We'll say, all right, this one's gonna attack a little longer, and we're gonna tie that to oscillator 2, and then we're gonna do this one more time and maybe make this a little shorter, and we're gonna go like that and tie this here. Now what I'm gonna do is we could even start thinking about panning these things in different locations, just so you guys can hear exactly what's going on here. And then maybe I'll hit shift and pitch this down an octave, so you guys can get a better idea of how this is gonna flow. Now again, these are just sawtooth waveforms. We're gonna change the waveforms in just a second, but I just want you to hear exactly how this is supposed to sound. You hear that? So now the oscillators are coming in at different times, right? So you can adjust the timing to really suit something that might sound like a dynamic moving pad. So let's go ahead and just go like this. Right? Now to take this one step further, let's start playing with the filtering. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take the resonance out of this and we're gonna tie that to maybe oscillators 1 and 3, and then we'll actually take filter number 2 and take a lot of the resonance out of that and make that a lot higher. So now you're really gonna hear this dramatic effect. Check it out. I'll change this to like ladder. There we go. Okay. So as you can hear, those first two oscillators kind of swoop up real quick, and then the third oscillator just comes in at the end. But it sounds like almost a completely separate part of the patch, which is really cool. So let's take this one step further. Now what we're gonna do is turn on the sample oscillator, the white noise, and we'll just create like maybe our own little envelope here, 2/1, and we're just gonna create an attack and release envelope here, and then tie that to the level, turn it down. And so now check this out. Now it has its own envelope, and it's now coming in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch this to direct out, and when we do finally add some effects, I'm gonna add some outboard effects, and it's really gonna provide some drama there. All right, cool, that's a nice start. So now let's start adjusting the actual wavetables themselves. So I'm gonna go in here and pick some of these tables that I made for my Patreon. So quick little plug here, if you wanna get more wavetables like this, please have a look at my Patreon. The link is down below in the description. I'm offering like wavetables, presets, extra videos, full track walkthroughs, all kinds of stuff, and you're supporting me and my journey to becoming a full-time ambient music content creator. So check it out, link is down below. But we're gonna take this wavetable here, and we're gonna move it up and down with another LFO. So we can go ahead and do this. And we set this to sync and maybe make it like 4/1. So now we have a different wavetable shape. Just like that. Very nice, okay? So you gotta keep pressing the keys here, right? And you really, it starts coming alive, okay? So now let's go ahead and we'll add another one of these wavetables, and we will just go like this, make it 3D. There you go. We will tie LFO6 to this, adjust LFO6, and now let's add some more voices to this. And what we'll also do is we'll make, we'll add some unison modes to some of these. So on oscillator 1, I'm gonna come over here and make this maybe like center drop 12, switch the table spread to a little bit wider, and then we'll make this unison as well, turn that down, maybe do like a harmonic stretch, tie this one to it. I mean, there's all kinds of different ways that you can modify this to really make it come alive, all right? And now let's go ahead and we'll do some filter movement. So we'll go ahead and make some, you're your basic filter envelope here. So we'll take the sustain out of it, add some decay. So we have an A and D envelope here. And then we'll go like that, lower the level down. And then we'll finally do some movement, maybe with some randomized movement here. And then we'll go 2/1 and go like that, okay? And we'll turn that down. There we go. How's this sounding? Oh, that already sounds great. I'm liking this a lot. Envelope 2 will slow the attack down a little bit. Nice. And maybe we'll adjust the panning here. We'll maybe adjust the panning with a random. So we'll go, we'll set this to Perlin, and we'll go 2/1, and we'll tie this to the panning of oscillator 1, then we'll right click on here and say bipolar. So now we have a full bipolar movement going on here in a random direction. And now let's add some effects, all right? Last but not least, let's add some outboard effects. Today I am using, I'm sure you guys would like to know, I'm using Timeless 3 here with a custom preset, and I'm also using Valhalla Room, okay, with a 55-second decay time, all right? So that is what I'm using there on the effects bus, and here we go. Final thoughts here? I mean, we really didn't do much, but what we did was a lot. And the effect that it creates is this pad that's always in motion. There's things swooshing in and out. You get the wash of that gorgeous white noise coming in, all at the right time. So if anything, what you can take away with today is the idea that envelopes can be in motion and oscillators can be set off time and filtered out differently from each other, creating some really organic and dynamic movement just with one patch and a couple presses of notes, all inside of one synthesizer. Thank you guys so much for watching. This one trick, I just had to make this video today just to kind of communicate this idea, because once I realized that you could pull the timings of all these different envelopes and adjust them, the sky's the limit. And it doesn't matter what synthesizer that you're applying this to, whether it's hardware or software, the methodology remains the same. Truly appreciate you guys. If you want to support me and support this channel, be sure to check out my Patreon. The link is down below. Full track walkthroughs on there, tons of preset packs, and a lot more coming. The future is looking bright for Signs of Life. Thanks again. Take good care as always. Keep your heads in the clouds and your feet planted firmly on the ground. My name is Chris from Signs of Life, and I'll see you all on the other side.